At first, one might suspect the MCU have used up all the main Avengers villains. They fought their first foe in the comics Loki, they battled their nemesis Ultron, and they faced the big bad of Marvel Thanos. After squaring off against these three Major League villains, are there any compelling baddies left? Absolutely. I'm Emil from What Culture, and these are 10 essential Avengers villains not yet used in the movies. Number 10. The Dark Avengers. When Iron Man became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he hoped to use his technology and experience to better the world. But when he failed to stop a Skrull invasion, he was unceremoniously stripped of his position. Because Norman Osborn performed the killing shot on the Skrull's leader, he received a ton of positive PR, which he used as an opportunity to forge his own government-funded super team, the Dark Avengers. Wearing a hybrid of Iron Man and Captain America's suits, Osborn became the Avengers leader, Iron Patriot. The team members were chosen to emulate the most iconic Avengers, so it composed of Ares, Daken, Bullseye, Venom, Nova, and Moonstone. Since Osborn is a crazed lunatic, he usually used his team and the government's resources to discredit and attack superheroes, rather than actually save the world. Since we've seen Madam Hydra recruiting US agent and Yelena Belova throughout Phase 4, it seems very clear the MCU is setting up the Dark Avengers storyline. With Abomination set to reappear in She-Hulk, don't be surprised to see Madam Hydra inviting the Jade Giant into her ranks as well. Number 9. The Hood. Parker Robbins was a low-tier thug who stumbled upon a magical hood from Dormammu's domain, the Dark Dimension. While wearing the cloak, Robbins' weapon of choice, his twin pistols, can never run out of bullets. Not only that, the magical properties of the hood allow the bullets to pierce through almost anyone, including Iron Man, Thor, and even the Hulk. This garment also grants Robbins the power of illusion, transparency, invisibility, teleportation, flight, energy blasts, and resurrection. Where do I get one of these? But much like Thanos, it's not Robbins' power that makes him dangerous. It's his ambition. He will do anything, sacrifice anyone, and give up everything to get what he desires. During his reign as a super criminal, he's assembled a super team of 50 villains to take down the Avengers, obtained the wish-granting Norn Stones, and has wielded several Infinity Stones. When he realized he was losing a fight against Earth's mightiest heroes in Avengers 50, he allowed Dormammu to possess his body, proving he will give up his very soul to defeat his enemies. He may look like some guy in a crappy Halloween costume, but the Hood has come close to vanquishing the Avengers more than almost anyone. Number 8. Count Nefaria and Madame Mask. After undergoing an experiment by one of Zemo's scientists, Count Licino Nefaria obtained the power to shoot ionic energy. The procedure also endowed him with a speed that rivals Quicksilver and a strength that outmatches Luke Cage 100-fold. He may not be as iconic as Loki or Kang, but Nefaria is one of the most formidable people on Earth. He also has the distinction of being the first supervillain ever to kill an X-Man. In the words of the Green Goblin, impressive. Using his astounding power, wealth, and influence, Nefaria became the leader of the world's largest crime gang, the Maggia. Knowing his plans for world domination could end in failure, the monocle-wearing crime boss raised his daughter Giulietta to take over his criminal empire. Even though Giulietta didn't want to follow her father's line of work, that all changed when she was left facially scarred in a plane crash. She became so unstable, it was easy for Nefaria to twist her into the deranged supervillainess Madame Mask. Despite possessing no superpowers, Mask is an incredible competent martial artist and markswoman, allowing her to go toe-to-toe with heavy hitters like Captain America and Iron Man. Number 7. Master of the World. During the Paleolithic era, Ishu was a caveman who found himself cast out of his tribe after murdering one of his own people. As he aimlessly wandered the lands, he was picked up by an alien spaceship where he was transformed into a vastly intelligent immortal. With his newfound power, Ishu renamed himself the Master of the World and vowed to conquer the planet that spurned him. Even though he believes he deserves to rule Earth, he thinks it's overpopulated, which has inspired him to conjure many schemes to decimate humanity's population. Starting off as a villain to Alpha Flight, it wasn't long before the callous Cro-Magnon began butting heads with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and of course, the Avengers. Using his 40,000 years of knowledge, the Master has become a master combatant, tactician, and strategist. Not only does he have a vast army of alien creatures at his beck and call, his helmet links him to his living spacecraft, allowing him to call upon its heavy artillery at will. Even though he's battled Earth's heroes since the dawn of civilization, no one has managed to permanently defeat him. Number 6. The Serpent. Eons ago, Thor's uncle Kulborson discovered he had a natural talent for instilling fear in others. Preparing to spread terror across the 9 realms, Asgard had Kul banished. Millennia later, he came to Earth, now calling himself the Serpent, preparing to undo the world that Thor protected. Even though the event series that Kul debuted in, Fear itself, received mixed reviews, the self-proclaimed God of Fear would be an incredible villain to incorporate into the MCU. First off, he's devastatingly powerful, as was proved when he shattered Captain America's shield and killed Thor. However, he doesn't just attack his enemies physically, but mentally too. With little effort, he can prey on the superheroes' fears, urging them to turn on one another. Although a lot of Marvel villains like Loki, Ultron, and even Thanos have a generic army, Kul's minions are very interesting. As he launched his attack on the Avengers, he corrupted the 8 strongest beings on the planet with enchanted hammers, turning super beings like the Hulk, Thing, and Juggernaut into his unwilling slaves. If Kul was implemented into the MCU, it would be awesome to see the heroes being twisted by his magic, forcing them to battle their teammates. 5. Modok. Despite the fact Modok appeared in his own stop-motion animation show this year, it took place in its own continuity and so wasn't part of the MCU. Because the series was heavily criticised and the titular villain was depicted in a comedic fashion, it's understandable why one would be cynical about inserting Modok into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, the bulbous-headed scientist has proven to be one of the most intelligent and powerful villains in all of Marvel. After his brain was altered by the Cosmic Cube, he developed psionic abilities, giving him enough power to take over the scientific terrorist group AIM. With his unequaled intelligence, Modok assembled a colossal army, tons of weapons, countless robots, and enough doomsday devices to blow up the world 1,000 times over. If you thought he could be defeated with Thor's hammer or Cap's shield, it's not that easy. Modok can conjure a psychic shield around his body that can withstand a nuclear blast. Also, most of his nerves are dead-ended, meaning it's nearly impossible for him to feel pain. Lucky guy. He may look goofy, but only a fool would underestimate the full might of Modok. Number 4. Mephisto. Mephisto is an otherworldly entity who rules his own universe, which many refer to as Hell. He claims he's not the devil, but considering he governs a realm engulfed in fire and tricks people into selling their souls to satiate his own evil desires, it's hard to tell them apart. Yeah, Mephisto, you're gonna have to decorate or something because you're not fooling anyone. Even though the rumors that Mephisto would debut in WandaVision turned out to be unfounded, Marvel fans are eager at the idea of the malevolent demon joining the MCU. Although his power is astounding, it's his skills at persuasion that make Mephisto dangerous. He could crush the earth with his pinky finger, but he takes more pleasure in manipulating innocent people, giving up their souls to him. I quite like his style. Because viewers are getting a little tired of watching the Avengers wailing on giant monsters and cannon fodder armies, it'd be cool to see them square off against a foe whose manipulation skills can cause the superheroes to defeat themselves. Also, the introduction of Mephisto could help bring in other Hell-themed characters into the MCU, such as Blackheart, Zarathus, Danny Ketch, Zadkiel, and the one and only Nicolas Cage. The original Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, but please, Nick Cage. Number 3. Annihilus. After Reed Richards discovered a pocket dimension called the Negative Zone, it wasn't long before he found himself at odds with this reality's ruler, Annihilus. Upon learning of Reed's universe, the insect-like emperor vowed to escape his dimension and conquer all of existence. Starting off as a recurring foe to the Fantastic Four, the monstrous conqueror's unbridled ambition made him an enemy, not just to the world, but to the entire universe. Considering his minions, the Annihilation Wave, numbers in the trillions, it's very possible Annihilus has the largest army in the cosmos. Sounds like he's compensating for something to me. When heroes attempt to take on the malevolent monarch, most perish by the hand of his countless acolytes long before they reach him. Using his tremendous power and boundless resources, the relentless regent has enslaved the Avengers, wiped out entire sections of the universe, murdered the Human Torch, transformed into a Hulk, caused cosmic destruction with Thanos on numerous occasions, and imprisoned the Devourer of Worlds himself, Galactus. Worst of all, Annihilus is immortal, meaning that he can never be beaten for good. Even if he is decapitated, blown up, and his remains are scattered across the galaxy, it's only a matter of time before he returns. He's just showing off at this point, really. Number 2, Galactus. Thanos left an unbelievable impact on the MCU since he was a compelling villain with an unrivaled strength. So, which character is more powerful and even more compelling than the Mad Titan? The answer is Galactus. This planet-consuming entity's strength is so unquantifiable, Thanos himself admitted he couldn't stagger the Big G for longer than a minute before succumbing to his might. The Devourer of Worlds is such a daunting foe, it would take every being on Earth to stand a chance against him. Contrary to popular belief, Galactus is not the most powerful entity in Marvel. The Beyonder, Black Winter, Abraxas, and several others dwarf Galactus' abilities, but the reason why he stands out more than most cosmic entities is because he is more compelling. The power cosmos that fuels Galactus' body burns off so much energy, he needs to consume planets to survive. Galactus takes no pleasure in destroying countless civilization, but is urged to do so to quench his agonizing hunger. Someone get that guy a bucket of chicken. This motivation makes Galactus a far more interesting villain than most, and it would mean the world to Marvel fans to see the character done justice on the big screen. Don't even talk to me about Rise of the Silver Surfer. Number 1, Doctor Doom. Even though there are plenty of epic villains that can be implemented into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's not enough. The MCU doesn't just need powerful villains, they need a big bad. They need another Thanos, and no one fits the bill better than Dr. Victor Von Doom. At first, he was depicted as a tyrannical monarch of the Eastern European nation of Latveria, but as his popularity with readers grew, so did Dr. Doom's ambition. Over the years, he has transformed into a world-class sorcerer, second only to Doctor Strange himself. Even though he had mastered the mystic arts, that wasn't enough for the ironclad dictator. Not even the universe could satisfy Doom. Simply put, Doom wants everything. He desires to master time, defeat death, control the multiverse, attain godhood, and just have a really cool car. For all his power, it's Doom's ambition that makes him terrifying. Due to his staggering intelligence, resources, and drive, there is next to nothing he cannot achieve. Even though he has battled every superhero imaginable, he usually comes out on top, often through sheer willpower. If handled correctly in the MCU, Doctor Doom could match or even surpass Thanos in terms of a truly terrifying and compelling villain. I hope we see all of them.